everybody! So today I want to talk about how I cleanse and charge my crystals. So when you get a new crystal or you've been using one for a while, it will need to be cleansed. It's good to get into the practice of doing this on a regular basis. I think that once a month works pretty well, and it's easy to schedule that if you follow like a lunar cycle. For example, if you do it always on a full moon, that's easy to remember, and it's a powerful time when you charge your crystals too. Everybody's going to be different and every crystal is different. So if you feel like you want to do it more than once a month, that's totally up to you. There's no harm in that. You can't really like fuck it up. So if you're using a certain crystal for healing, it's a good idea to cleanse it before and after. The most important thing is that you're cleansing new crystals because they can absorb a range of energies from whoever was handling them before you or wherever it came from before you. So I'm going to talk about 3 different ways to cleanse your crystals. There are a lot more than 3, but these are the 3 more common ones, or at least these are the 3 that I have done. The first one is a saltwater cleanse. So you can use seawater if you live in a place where that is available to you, or you can use water mixed with sea salt. Fill a glass bowl with salt water so your crystals are fully submerged. You can leave them in there anywhere from 1 hour to a week. I leave mine overnight. When you're done, rinse the crystals with running water to remove any remaining salt. And that salt water must not be reused because it has absorbed unwanted energies. Water can be corrosive to some crystals, and sometimes it will gradually dissolve them. Sometimes it will kind of eat away at the surface and change the color and appearance of the crystal. So if you have any certain crystals that you want to cleanse in water, just like do a little quick Google search, see if it's safe. A lot of crystals are safe underwater, but I have a little list here. So you want to avoid, like, these are some more popular ones. Selenite, fluorite, calcite, labradorite, opal, and lapis lazuli. I've done a saltwater cleanse a few times and I've never had any issues with like the water damaging the stone, but it's not like really my go-to. One that I have done often is just a plain sea salt cleanse. So it's just sea salt. So you'll fill a glass bowl with sea salt and either bury your crystals or place them on top. Leave it from an hour to a week. I always do it overnight. Rinse them thoroughly and then throw away the salt. But just like with salt water, plain salt can have adverse reactions to some stones too. Lapis lazuli, opal, hematite, and pyrite. I do sea salt cleanses literally all the time. I always start with a salt cleanse when I get a new crystal. So I have pyrite and I didn't notice any bad reactions, and that showed up on the list of crystals that you shouldn't put in salt. Approach at your own risk. I'm not going to put my pyrite in salt again, but after the first time, nothing bad happened. And then the third method of crystal cleansing, and my favorite method, is smudging. So you can burn incense or sage and hold the crystals in the smoke for a few seconds, or you can fan the smoke around the crystals. So when you're doing this, you can visualize the smoke attaching to the negative energies, pulling them out, and then evaporating with the smoke. This is my favorite method because it's super quick, it's super easy, it works with any crystal. There's like no weird Googling you have to do before you do this method. While you're burning sage, it's also clearing negative energy in your living space and from yourself. I already love burning incense. I just love the way it smells. While it's burning, you can just bring a few crystals over and hold them in the smoke for a few seconds each. Some really effective incense types for crystal clearing are going to be sandalwood, sweetgrass, cedarwood, frankincense, or nag champa. You can also use Palo Santo wood. Palo Santo works in a very similar way to sage. And I think that smudging is definitely going to be the best method when it comes to clearing like crystals on jewelry. You don't want to get like pieces of salt in your jewelry, and you probably don't want to get it wet either. So like for this necklace that I'm wearing here, like I would definitely just smudge it. Once your crystals are cleansed, then you're going to want to charge them. So again, I have 3 methods for how to charge your crystals, but there's much more. You can energize your crystals by placing them in the sun. This is going to give a stronger energy, and you can leave them in the sun for a few hours. Sunlight will also fade the color in a few crystals. Some crystals that you don't want to leave out in the sun are amethyst, celestite, fluorite, rose quartz, smoky quartz, topaz, and turquoise. So there's a lot of like very popular crystals that you don't want to leave in the sun. It's not going to hurt them like water would hurt other crystals, but it will fade the color. You also don't want to leave opal in the sun because opal will dry out. The second method to charge crystals is going to be by leaving them out in the moonlight. So again, this is where the full moon comes in handy. A couple days before the full moon is a good idea to cleanse your crystals and then charge them in the full moon. The moonlight will provide a more gentle energy. The third method to charge your crystals is by burying them in the earth. Your crystals came from the earth, so by putting them back in and letting the earth's vibrational frequency recharge them for about a day, that will make them so happy. Be aware of crystals that are sensitive to water because there is going to be moisture in the ground. Make sure that you know exactly where you put them and that you leave a marker so that you know where they are. Make sure you remember how many you buried so you can get them all out. Don't forget any. So those are the most common ways to cleanse and charge your crystals. It's super important to cleanse your crystals. I do have a video on my channel all about how crystals work, more like into scientific detail and the history behind crystal usage. I'll put that on one of those little cards up there. I'll also have it linked down below along with all my social media. As always, I just want to say thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.